Welcome to More Than a Few Words, Marketing Conversation for Business Owners. This is your host, Lorraine Ball, and this is an episode from our archives. It is a conversation that I had with Luke Magsamen almost 7 years ago. It's about marketing automation, and the amazing thing is that all of the tips and all of the suggestions are as relevant today as they were back then. Okay, here's the show. It's Lorraine Ball.
And Luke Magsamen.
And today I'm going to go off and take a nap and expect the business to run without
me. We want it to always happen that way. And, way we can is with automated messaging, automated emails.
Absolutely. One of the really cool things of living in the age of automation and living in an age when there are so many tools that allow you to automate your marketing is you can do that. You can create marketing that continues to work even if you're not involved.
Yeah, and this can be with new customers that you already have, and they may have started a sales process or conversion, but you have to keep that conversion going. So there's a lot of unique things you can do with it. Birthdays to people that had abandoned their cart, or, new customers that you have.
You're probably sitting there thinking like, okay, I'm interested. I kind of want to know how to do this. Where do I start? And so you're going to need a couple of things to make a good automated response program work. Number one, you have to have an email program because that's how you're going to reach out and connect and reconnect with customers. And for prospective customers, you're going to have landing pages on your website and offers that get them engaged. With reoccurring customers, you're going to have a good database that has relevant information. You were the recipient of that kind of marketing recently.
I was. I just had my birthday recently.
Happy birthday.
Yep. Starting to feel old. I don't think I'm allowed to say that yet. Still too young.
Not in a room with me, you're not.
A lot of companies utilize this where if you have that information about your customer, you can send them an automated message on their birthday. I received about 6 different ones, but one in particular from Dollar Shave Club. It's a company that sells shaving products, and on my birthday they sent me a code for $10 off. I was intrigued, obviously, and went to their website, and instead of just buying one product and saving $10 and only have to spend $1, I ended up adding another item to my cart. So just something unique like that, a coupon or just wishing happy birthday, can kind of re-engage your customers and remind them of your business and keep them engaged.
That's a really good example, and it motivated you to buy. Another industry where I think that worked really well was we worked with a florist. She did a lot of weddings, and she always got the groom's email address. And right before the 1 month anniversary, they would get a note that said, hey, you've been married almost a month. Why don't you send your bride a flower? Click here. She already had their mailing address. She already had a credit card on file for them. And so all they had to do was click, and the next thing they knew, a flower was delivered to their bride, and they had a great evening.
Yeah, and that's a great idea, and maybe not something they thought of, and hit them right at the exact moment, a month before. It's being able to get them in that process and getting them to convert.
And if you make it easy, it works. She did it on the 1 month, 6 month, and 1 year anniversary, and each time the bouquets got bigger. It worked so well,
Yep.
It worked so well that she actually then created a Mother's Birthday Club, a Mother's Day Club, and a just ongoing anniversary club. And guys would sign up knowing they'd get the reminder, and she very rarely gave them a choice. This is the flower you're sending, and they'd be like, oh, okay, next.
Yep.
And it took 2 minutes, and she made the sale, and they moved on.
And a lot of times with guys, we don't like tough decisions like that, and if someone just tells us what to do, we'll do it.
Absolutely. And so that's a really good example of, I think, ongoing customer engagement.
Yeah.
But I think you can also do it when you're trying to move a prospective customer through a sales interaction.
Yeah.
People who are in the sales process, who are kicking the tires and getting to know you.
Yeah, someone that has engaged with your stuff before, being able to get them to a page and maybe downloading a certain cookbook or some certain white page, being able to re-engage with them and sell them a coupon for a certain item that you had in that cookbook or something that entices them to keep on going with that process.
Absolutely. And, when you're thinking about an auto response campaign for something like that, it can be a multi-part campaign. It can be maybe you download a coupon and now I send you a recipe once a week for 5 weeks. I find it very effective after I send a proposal. Now, this only works if you are in an industry where it's a longer sales cycle. People don't decide to buy a website overnight. So getting an email once a week for several weeks with different resources and different information sort of coaches them along the path.
Yeah, completely agree. Something that keeps engaging with them and kind of reminding them of what they have looked at. You might lose them along the way, but if you send something a month later or a couple weeks later, it just kind of keeps that process going and keeping them engaged.
And a lot of times people were like, oh yeah, I was going to look at that. Yep. I was going to buy that. And it kind of reminds them.
Yeah, a certain product or something that they did like, but for whatever reason at the time, they didn't make that purchase. Or maybe they need to see a little bit more. So sending them something, a follow-up to give them a little bit more.
And the other thing is that with an auto response campaign, and the reason I say this is marketing you can do in your sleep, is once you create the campaign, it will run without you. Mm-hmm. Using email tools, you can put someone on a list, and there are 5 emails that every new person gets.
Yep.
You put them in the list and they get the campaigns.
Yeah, and that's a great way, someone new that's just joined your email list, maybe sending them an email that has descriptions about your products or a little intro about your company, just so they can get to know you better and starts off that relationship with a positive note.
You also had a really interesting other application for drip campaigns.
A client that just had a big event, and there's a lot of unique ways that you can use automation, sending emails to them before the event, what you can do, what's going to be going on, and then even after the event, people that automated message those people that attended and they're able to receive online access, or the people that didn't attend and maybe they can receive the online access. So there's a lot of ways that you can continue that process through and after that event that you have.
And I think particularly if it's an event that happens every year, we do it with the turkey orders for Joe's. It's a 1 month long event where he's pre-ordering turkeys. Well, if you've ordered before, you're automatically in the list that says, hey, have you got your turkey yet? Hey, we're going to open up turkey sales. Make sure you get your orders in, and then add to that other new people, but always give that the people who bought before first access.
Yeah.
Here's a chance for you to get your order in before we sell out.
Yep, and remind them, oh, I did that. I love doing that. Be able to do it again.
The other thing is that as you're kind of thinking about constructing your auto response campaigns, you're going to be sending these emails. You're going to be sending them this month, next month, hopefully the month after, and the month after that. You really need to keep in mind the fact that the content has to be evergreen, as relevant today and a year from now. So you've got to be careful not to use seasonal messaging. Hey, it's hot out there, because I may join your list in December and it won't be. You also want to avoid any kind of information that may be out of date. Information on regulations, information on laws, or any kind of statistics that change.
Yeah, something that might have been important 6 months ago, but now things could have changed.
So one of the ways that you can work around that is the email contains a link to check the latest regulations here, and then you put the content on your website. You update the website whenever something is new, and the next person who gets the email will simply see the latest information on that page.
Yep, and that's just, setting a task that you're updating that constantly, so that's going to be relevant information when they go to it.
And so that way you don't have to worry about changing the emails. And especially if you have different campaigns going out and they're linking to the same information, you only have to change it in one place.
Yep.
You can't just do email, though. It's really important to have phone follow-up and other interactions, but this kind of covers you in between.
Yeah, it's definitely important that you have that face-to-face or that voice, that it's not just something through a computer, but this is definitely a way that we can get this message across, like you said, when you're sleeping. And not as much work, but now that you have it automated, you always know that this will work when it needs to work.
Absolutely. And the other thing that I really like about this is we have 150 people right now that are involved in our email boot camp. And it's an automated response campaign. They sign up for the first day, and then every day they get another lesson. Well, I can see who opened it, who watched the videos, who clicked on it. And so now I know who to call.
Yep. And if those people hadn't opened, you can make a list that you can send that same email to them again.
If you enjoyed this conversation about automated email and inbound marketing, you can find more resources in our toolbox. Look for MTFW wherever you listen to podcasts. This has been another episode of More Than a Few Words. Thanks for listening.